The seed ship is away. Project Genesis is a triumph. It's hard to fully accept what we here at ARK Prime have accomplished together. Arguably, the most momentous and audacious thing ever attempted by human ingenuity. Though the mission took all of our remaining resources, everyone that ever lived on Earth now has a chance to survive and prosper elsewhere in the cosmos, thanks to our work. Future generations will surely remember and commemorate our great efforts on their behalf. Perhaps those same descendants will even find a way to forgive us for fouling our home world beyond repair. But for now, my people's thoughts are with the brave crew of the Genesis ship as they search the heavens for a new home for humanity. May Providence guide them. We have always understood our ultimate fate beyond this project's completion. But now, with the launch actually behind us, I find myself less comforted than I had anticipated. Humanity may well live again elsewhere in the galaxy, but we project managers were unable to encode our own engrams into the codex, a limitation of the system's design. The creators cannot themselves be created. As long as this facility stays operational, we can continue to store our creatures' new memories and experiences into the Engram Codex and upload them across our transluminal communication link with the Genesis seed ship. A person could close their eyes here and then awake to open their eyes in an alien world in the distant future with no sense of lost continuity. That is, someone other than us. But we who labored for generations to preserve the biological riches of the planet Earth, we shall not get to see the results of our efforts. Now that the day has finally arrived, I feel regret. Or is it fear? Scouts have definitively confirmed that long-term survival is impossible in the outside world. Our isolation and shielding have kept us hidden from the Titans laying waste to the rest of the world, but we are unlikely to endure much longer here. Nor can we expect any intervention by our ascended cousins, the so-called Homo Deus, now that they've abandoned us to play in their orbital arcs. Our technology helped make it possible, and yet they have abandoned us too. But there must be a way forward. I was entrusted to lead this last bastion of humanity, and I refuse to just wait around for my people to starve in the dark. No! We will not go quietly into the night. Given the collective engineering and scientific expertise we possess, I'm determined to make survival our new mission. We will find a way to outlast this. After years of extreme power conservation and enforced austerity measures, we may have found a solution to our dwindling fuel supply. A novel red isotope of the exotic element powering our civilization has been discovered inside our borders, deep under the Antarctic ice. Unlike the blue variant, which provides immense energy, and the purple variant, which creates carbon-based life, the red element seems to have unique properties. This new red element will let us keep the heat on and our energy shielding up, once we finish doing some creative reimagining of our infrastructure. But the red element is not comparable in power output to the blue substance, and so the environmental pressures on our closed system of agriculture remain an ongoing threat. Since our world stopped turning altogether, it's becoming increasingly difficult to feed our animals and ourselves. Faced with endless darkness, I'm forced to consider more radical options. I will consult with my colleagues. There may be a solution to our crisis, albeit one almost too horrible to contemplate. Experimentation on animal and human subjects with exposure to red element has demonstrated an unexpected potential to boost longevity. Better still, the isotope can bond with human hemoglobin to produce a new and more efficient type of biofuel. Provided our society can overcome its collective squeamishness over biomodification, it's within our reach to engineer a new future for our people. Barring the cryotolerance of Antarctic sea life and the metabolism of hematophagous creatures like vampire bats and leeches, we could shrug off the cold and open up a new source of bioavailable energy. Because we just so happen to have an endless clone bank of potential blood donors at our disposal. The Codex can provide life itself. There was predictable opposition to my admittedly radical proposal. Revulsion at the idea of exploiting our precious Codex was only to be expected in a community of such devout humanists. Why could they not see the choice before us? Adaptation or death? Why should everything that we are, all that we have come to know and learn and love, why should that vanish into oblivion when we possess the power to live forever? Many objected to the heretical mutations I believed necessary to the continued survival of our colony. Regrettably, their resistance will have to be put down for the greater good. It's not as if I'm demanding the sacrifice of ensouled, cognizant people to feed our colony. These liminal meat puppets will exist only to serve as buffer hosts that can transubstantiate an environmental toxin into a life-giving miracle substance. The Red will deliver us from starvation and open up a new age of post-humanity on our otherwise extinct homeworld. Those who can see that this is the only path will be part of our new colony. Those who cannot can provide sustenance. The Rubicon has been crossed, and so we are lost. We are the lost. There is no other way forward. Faced with an existential threat to our continued life on this earth, I was forced to seize supreme executive power in order to implement my solution. The turning of our people has begun. Now begins a period of great chaos as my bioengineered enforcers seek out any dissidents remaining within our borders and enforce compliance one way or another. So many friends and colleagues are now gone, but they could not face the necessity of what had to be done. This new way of life has only come about due to my conviction, my willpower. So it seemed reasonable to stack the deck in my own favor by giving myself the most profound genetic upgrades. After all, a people need a leader, and their leader must be strong. At long last, and through great sacrifice, a kind of equilibrium has finally been achieved. Our people will live on in the endless night, no thanks to those who abandon us to our fate once we launch them toward their bright future. If and when the colonists on the seed ship find a habitable new world, the plan was to call their new home Arat. But Earth was the cradle of humanity, and Arat Prime remains its last terrestrial outpost. We will carry the torch on into the long night. Down here in the darkness, we may not be able to thrive as they will in their sunlit new world. But I have seen to it that we will endure. It only seems fair that the clones they left behind will serve to feed us into perpetuity. So much time has passed without anything to challenge the order of my kingdom that I was slow to react to a surprising new threat. An outsider found her way into my realm, and she is formidable indeed. Li Mei-yin has systematically slain nearly all of the remaining challenges to my throne that I have placed in her way. She appears to be the clone of an ancient warrior who originated on one of the arks built by those others so long ago. Why does she seem to be so single-mindedly determined to find my codex? I must access the records of the ARK network to learn all I can about this remarkable woman and how she came to be here. What drives the unyielding fire I sense in her, and how could it yet benefit my kingdom? Mei-yin may have submitted to the turning, but she remains my queen consort, in name only. In the centuries since, she has proved to be my most effective enforcer, killing the last of the warlords who sought to overthrow me, leaving my rule absolute. Yet she keeps her distance, holding back her innermost thoughts. I could force her to my will, but that would crush my last hope of true companionship. Most recently, another outsider adversary has arrived on our doorstep. As it happens, someone from my queen's life on the Arks. This clever interloper has begun to corrupt the borders of my kingdom. With mutated wildlife and reanimated thrall corpses he intends to set against us. This invader amuses me. I will leave it to my lost queen to negotiate with her one-time fellow traveler, this Edmund Rockwell. I expect those negotiations will be brief. These are the private logs of Darius Anthem, the director of the Arat Prime facility. I hope in better times they will serve as a record of what has transpired here, and what may yet come to be.